right, so welcome to week 6. This week we're studying the Qin and the Han in China, and we're studying the Gupta and the Mauryan. I really love this week because I'll tell you right now, you're never going to hear Gupta and Mauryan ever again in your life. No other history class is ever going to talk about India the way we do. They're going to talk about India in the 1800s when England captures it and abuses it and destroys it and, exports everything it has good in it and makes billions of dollars off of it. That's the only time we're going to hear about India. So this is one of the weeks that make it really world history, and I love this week because it's a quintessential cornerstone for both India and China this week. India is going to become the center of knowledge in Eurasia. They have all of the math, all of the science, and they're going to transform all of Asia with their new education. China at this point is going to become China. Now, when we think of China in 2018, we think of it as the center of manufacturing, the center of the world, right? In the business world, okay? That's only new. That really doesn't start, China doesn't start really peaking until the 1990s. They don't actually industrialize until 1957. That's because the British never let them industrialize in the 1800s like the rest of the world because Britain controlled China, and it's easier for Britain to make more money if the British industrialize and not China, so they kept them from industrializing as well. India is not going to industrialize until 1965, and that's because the British controlled India and they didn't want them to industrialize, which is why they weren't allowed to. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the foundation of societies of both India and China today. When we think about China today, we think of it as the center of the world, but for a very long time, the center of the world is going to be in Europe, but before that, it's going to be Asia. Okay? The Han are going to open up China to trade, and they are going to be the center of the world. China is going to have almost 300 times more money, value, and wealth in China than the rest of the world combined. Why is everyone spending money in China? What does China have that everyone wants? Payton.
I was going to say like the Silk Road.
Okay. Silk Road's not a thing. What are they purchasing in China?
Silk?
Yes! The Han are the ones who discover silk, and they're the ones making lots of money. Why is silk expensive? Why is silk nice? What is silk? What do you got, Katie?
It's like super hard to make. It's like the little worms.
Yeah, they have like rope coming out of their butt, and it's really what it is. It's super. Why do people like silk though? What's different from silk to like cotton? What we're all wearing, Jesse?
Because it feels all like.
I'm sorry, that's not words. When you like just sit there and just like shimmy around. It's getting worse. It's getting worse. We got a shoulder roll over there. What do you got, Chloe?
It's extremely soft and it feels like you're wearing nothing, basically.
Yeah, I got it. I've never worn silk. Anyone here own silk?
My mother does.
Your mother does? It's actually, it used to be like super, it's really a very expensive, it's still very expensive today. It used to be really trendy for young men like yourselves to wear silk shirts. Could you imagine?
You did the shoulder roll.
I did. I always do the shoulder roll. That's like my, that's my thing. So the silk's going to open up. What else is going to be coming out of China that everyone's going to want? What do you got, Katie? Spices, yes. When we think about traditional English food and Irish food, what do they taste like?
Spicy.
Potatoes.
They're potatoes. They're incredibly bland. They're just kind of crappy. Guys, you have to understand, in Europe at this point, they don't have pepper. Like black pepper is from India. So that is like your fundamental spice that you have in your spice cabinet right now. And guess what? No one in Europe has it. All their food is super bland. One of the few spices that they do have is rosemary and basil. That's it. And you just hate it with so much passion. That makes sense. She's like, oh, damn it, spices? I hate spices. But think about how bland that can be. So spices are going to draw tons and tons of money. Cinnamon, there's no such thing as cinnamon in Europe. Cinnamon is from India, and it's from the bark of a tree. Okay, so silk and spices are going to be coming. All right, here we go. Oh my God, you people are so chatty today. Indian Ocean. Then you have South China Sea. Yellow Sea. Sea of Japan. East China Sea. Alright, so you need 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First box is defensive wall. What do we call this defensive wall today? Macy. The Great Wall of China. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw some squiggles in the box. We're going to draw it in. The Qin are going to be the first civilization to start building the wall, Great Wall of China. We're going to see that every empire until the Ming are going to be contributing to it. And that the Ming are in period 4, so it's going to go from period 2, 3, all the way to 4. The Han are going to be the ones who start the Silk Road, and then the Xiongnu Confederation is going to be the foundation of what will eventually become the Mongols. Okay, and then we have overlapping borders. Okay, now what is happening in China after the Zhou? So the last dynasty we talked about in China in period 1 is the Zhou. What is happening after the Zhou collapse in China? Guys, come on, this is a big thing. Maggie?
I don't know.
It is chaos. What do we call that chaos, though? Rima? Yeah, it's the period of the Warring States, absolutely. So there is no government in play. It's going to be about 200 years. Nothing is happening except we have rival gangs, essentially, killing each other, trying to take territory and try to assert their dominance. Is this the time you'd like to live in China? No, it's quite a nightmare. So the first empire that who rises after the Warring States is the Qin. So if they're going to unify all of these warring states, what do they have to have a strong of? Jesse, they have to have an incredibly strong military. Okay, so the Qin are going to be one of the strongest militaries in Chinese history. They're going to reunify China. They're also going to build a monstrous wall, which we of course call the Great Wall of China, in order to keep their enemies out. And it works pretty damn well, which is why everyone keeps adding to it after the fact, all the way until period 4. Okay, so if the Qin are building this massive wall, they must also have a strong what? Economy is not too bad. They're not really making a ton of money. They have a strong what? They have a really strong government that they can use to empower their people to build it. I don't know about you, but after work today, I'm not going to go build a wall. So in order to get people to do it, the government has to be incredibly strong and very much so centralized, so we can tell that by the massive building projects that they do. So the Qin are going to be the first post-Zhou. They are the first post-warring state, so they are going to be unifying China. Now, for me, I'm going to use light green for the Qin. Okay, so for the Qin, they're obviously going to be hiding behind their wall. That's why they built it. Okay, so the Qin are going to be building this massive wall. They're going to have a massive military and very strong centralized power. They're also going to build a piece of art you haven't quite studied yet, but Ren has referenced. What is one of the pieces you'll be studying in AP Art History that the Qin created? Macy?
The little statues, the military.
They're not little. They're like
big.
6 feet tall. Yeah. The Qin, the terracotta soldiers. Yeah, 5,000 soldiers, all completely unique. They're built in order to protect Qin Shiyan Gaoyu, or whatever his name is, who is the first emperor of China, of the Qin dynasty. So he's the first emperor post the Warring States. He's incredibly powerful, as we can see. He builds the terracotta soldiers, which I was supposed to see this summer. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. We're not going. Obviously. I don't know. I don't know China, I don't know what town they're in. They're in, yeah, we're going to go see them in situ. Isn't that the term he uses? In situ. No, I've never ever been to China. And this summer I was supposed to go, but Trump and China are feuding. I don't know if you've been seeing. It's become even bigger in the last couple of days. I don't know if you saw Trump's rant yesterday on Twitter saying that the Washington Journal got it, the Washington Post got it even more wrong, that the United States doesn't need to trade with China at all. We do need to trade with China, ladies and gentlemen, but this was not the time to bring American high school students to China when clearly our governments are not getting along. I think we can agree. So hence why Ren and I are going to Switzerland, France, Spain, Italy. There we go. That's all of them. All right. So the Chin are going to unify this amount. That's pretty impressive, don't you think? And then we have the Han. So the Han are who I just drew in orange. They are going to be starting the Silk Road. Okay, so they're going to be the ones trading with the rest of the world. Maggie?
Do they cover the entire chip?
Yeah. Okay, and then we have these people, the X people. I call them X-Men. Like, I'm just not going to try. You know how I butcher everything. So, these are the X-Men. They are going to be the rivals in China for a very long time. Eventually, they will turn into the Mongols, which will, of course, conquer China. And they are the major rivals during this time period. As you can see, why did they build the wall? To keep who out? The Mongols / X-Men. You do need to know Exanyu, that term. You do need to know that for your test. You're going to see a couple test questions about it. They are the major rivals, which is why the wall was built originally. However, when the Mongols attacked China in the end of period 4, who's going to win? The Mongols. Is the wall going to keep them out? No. Nope. What do you got, Payne? As we saw in the movie Mulan, what do you got?
Okay, couldn't the Mongols just walk around?
Yes. They also go over the wall as well. All right, by the way, I'm done with your map. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. All right, I'm going to take my black crayon, and I'm going to lightly just make like a waffle pattern. So, this is the overlapping. At some parts in history, we're going to see that the Han control it or the X-Men control it. So that's why we mean by overlapping. All right, so color in your map. You're done now. What do you got?
Is the on everything like just that area of the?
Yeah, and a little more over here. So the Han are going to be the first ones to open up worldwide trade or interregional trade with the Silk Road. This is going to be the foundation of trade. At this point, it's all over. It's all land-based. When we get to the Mauryanas and the Gupta in India, they're the ones going to open up the Indian Ocean basin when they discover monsoon winds, which are going to be changing direction halfway through the year, which is going to allow trade to facilitate faster and much more effectively. You will know those directions of those winds going. Monsoon winds is a major component of AP World, and you will hear all about them all year. And so the Mauryan and the Gupta are the ones who are able to do that. It's pretty cool. And we're going to do them on the other side. See you. It goes so much faster. Yeah, but some people who are color pencil people, they're like ride or die. Like, they don't care. Like, I will never touch, like, some people are like, I will never touch a crayon in my life. Are you, is anyone, is that you, Alex? That's you too?
That's me. Yeah.
Yes.
They're just like waxing. I'm like, I don't really,
Gets
you
your
know.
fingers like all
Yeah, and I feel
crayony.
like crayons like can be used a few times and then they have to be sharpened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you're a terrible,
What do they call it?
Yeah, but this whole thing can be used.
so, you can sharpen a crayon?
Yeah.
The real question is it crayon or crayon?
Crayon.
Sorry, don't start that. It's not crayon.
It's crayon.
Ew, who the hell says that?
You guys are saying it like it has an E in it. It's crayon.
No.
It's crayon. Do not start this.
You say
like
cranberry, but with like a little crayon.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about in general, just how like.
Crayola. Not Crayola.
Crayola.
I feel bad. It's crayon.
Oh my god, I hate when you call it a crown.
A crown. A crayon.
No, I
Crayon.
call it a crown.
Crayons. That's how you guys.
All right, if I finish my map, you should be done with your map. I mean, not Isabella, because like she's gonna be here for the next 45 minutes on her damn map.
I accidentally colored some
Oh, QIN.
I went over it though. I'm not crayon.
QIN.
Crayons. Crayons.
So hopefully you see that you did have new crayons today, except for my boy Vance over there, whoever had them before, I hate them for just smashing it. So please do take care of my crayons and color pencils. If you do not, I will not keep providing nice ones every couple weeks. So please take care of them. Are we ready to flip? The other side is even easier. How many of you have a chemistry test today? Are we excited? Are we ready? Alright, flip it over. Let's go. Alright, here we go. We have Arabian Sea. Bay of Bengal. We've got South China Sea. Yellow Sea. Sea of Japan. East Asia. East China Sea, just kidding. Sorry. Alright, you need 2 boxes. Might as well write them out. We've got the Gupta, and then we have the Mayoran. Mauryan. Alright, you have the Hindu Kush Mountains over here. And then over here, you have the tallest mountain range in the world, and that's called the Himalayan. Yeah, Himalayas. And what is the most tallest mountain in the world?
Oh, sorry. I'm so stupid.
You are not stupid. All right, we got the Indus River. And then we have the Yangtze River. Okay. In Hinduism, which one is more important, Indus or Ganges? Ganges. That's the holiest river for them. All right. I don't know why that one, to be honest, but it is the most important. Burma is just what they call the region. It's not a country anymore. It fell in the 1990s. Yeah. All right, here we go. You need 2 colors only. Obviously, you saw how many boxes we have. I'm going to use purple for my Gupta. Huh? Oh, sorry, I wasn't looking.
What is the other one?
What? Here, actually, I'm going to do the Mayoran first because the Mayoran were first. So I'm going to start there first. All right. So the Mayoran. Now, they are going to be founded by a game named Chandragupta Mayoran, which makes sense why it's called the Mayoran Empire. Why? Because his last name, for our context, our Western context, his last name is Mayoran. Okay, so Mayoran for me is going to be this light green. This one came first. Okay, so Chandragupta Mayoran is your founder. He is going to make Buddhism legal and the official religion of the Maoran. That is a big deal because, it's not the full part. They don't conquer all of South Asia. South Asia, the tip of South Asia, or what we would call this very southern tip of India, isn't going to be conquered and controlled until period 5 when the British show up. The British have done a lot of damage.
Does anyone live down there? Like,
Yeah, there's tons of people living there. It's going to be super, super Hindu. This is your highest density of Hindus in the world, still to this day. And it's going to be very hard for people to come in and conquer, including our boy who is going to show up during period 3, named... No. I can't think of his name at the moment. Mahad of Ghazni. He's going to bring Islam into India. He's going to try to conquer it. He can't do it. All right. Because they really are hardcore. They're hardcore, and they'll just burn down their houses and your houses. No, really, they don't want to be conquered by outside invaders because they don't want to be challenged in their religion. So they'd rather burn down their houses and temples rather than you get in there. So they're super hardcore. All right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, they're... Huh? No, they're not savages, people. They would just rather...
No, he's saying they are.
Oh, in a positive way. Okay, not in a negative connotation. No, they are really hardcore. Because they're the only place Hinduism is really found anywhere in the world. Even in today, in 2018, the only people who are Hindu are of Indian descent. Right? You don't have a lot of white people who are yeah, I'm going to be Hindu. You don't really see that because it is so ingrained in Indian culture. And the reason is because it is unconquered, untouched for so long by outside invaders. It just wasn't conquered, which is why Indians are really your only Hindus. There's not a lot of converts to Hinduism. I don't know if there are any converts to Hinduism. What do you got?
were the mountains, the Hindu Kush, were they named after Hindus?
I would say yes, but I have no authority to tell you that. It makes sense. All right. Then you have your Gupta. For me, it's purple. The Gupta are going to be the smartest people in the world at the time. Now, their founder is Sandra Gupta.
Oh,
Yeah. By the way, the founder of the Maoran is Sandra Gupta. Maoran. Are we having fun yet?
Wait, what?
Imagine that.
Sandra Gupta the first did really awesome stuff, so then that other person named.
It's just a common name, I guess. It's a man.
Oh, is that Sandra?
Yeah, Sandra.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
When you see their names, you'll see that there's spaces in between Sandra Gupta, space, Maoran, which is the founder of the Maoran. And then you have, for the founder of the Gupta, it's Sandra Gupta. 2 separate words. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, he's a pretty great guy, too. He is really going to push math and science, which is why I was saying they're the smartest people on the planet. They create the number 0 for Eurasia. They create number 0 for Eurasia. However, who's been knowing the number 0 for a long time, Alex?
Science.
There you go. So the Gupta are the ones going to clue. By the way, I'm done. They're the ones going to clue everyone else into the power of 0. They're going to be pushing the math and science in the world. They're going to be the center of all intelligence. They're going to be just doing some really cool stuff. They actually have plumbing. Nowhere else in the world is going to have plumbing for a long time after them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What do you got, Avery?
Okay, so is this after?
It's kind of overlapping. It's all kind of happening at the same time.
Okay.
I think the Maoran and Rome are happening at the same time. Gupta comes after Maoran.
And for the and for China.
And China, Rome's overlapping a little bit with the Qin and heavily overlapping with the Han because they're trading with the
Yeah, I
Han.
remember the Han.
Yeah, they're the Silk Road. These two, the Maoran and the Gupta, are going to be the absolute cultural foundation of India. We're going to have the intrusion of Islam into India, which is part of the major problems in India right now, besides the fact the British went in and destroyed their country. That's another thing. Right now in India, they're having a ton of problems between the Hindus and the Muslims. Lots of tension, which is why we had the creation of what state in 1947? Israel. It's also created in 47. It is, but they're not full of Muslims. They're full of Jews. What state was created in order to alleviate some of the problems in India? What do you got, Shabani? Pakistan, absolutely. And the majority religion in Pakistan are Muslims. And in 1947, we have the partition of India, which gives India its independence and creates the state of Pakistan in order to keep peace between the two nations. Is it peaceful today between India and Pakistan? No, it is not. The United States has chosen what country to support? India. Yeah, no one's going to say United States and Pakistan are best friends, okay? The United States has chosen India to support, and I think it was Gerald Ford who decided to give India nuclear weapons in order to keep them safe from Pakistan. So guess what Pakistan has?
Nuclear weapons.
Yeah, because they got to keep themselves from the invasion of India, of course. So that has only increased tension and problems in the region. Would you agree?
So maybe America cannot.
Well, the problem is, and that makes sense, I would agree with you as an American, why are we giving weapons away to other countries? However, essentially, if America did not give away weapons to other countries, like the nuclear weapon after World War II, we would essentially be holding the world hostage, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
No one would be able to check our power because we have the deadliest weapon ever created by man. So we had to give away our technology to some countries, and we tried to give them away to allies in order to alleviate, so other countries could hold us accountable. So Japan has them, Israel has them, India has them. They only have like 2, but
Who gave China then?
China-
developed
China is going to get them the technology from the United States in the 1980s.
Wait, why do we give that to them?
Because they are one of the 5 most powerful countries, and they're on the Security Council.
Okay, what about the Japanese?
Japanese, we took them over in 1947, and we forced them to agree to everything we wanted. And they got the technology about 15 years after the war ended. Now, keep in mind, Japan is our best ally in Asia right now. They have our back. They've offered numerous times that if Kim Jong-un, the dictator of North Korea, sends any bombs towards the United States or towards Hawaii, they've already volunteered to shoot it out of the sky for us. Because it would be a long reaction for us to be able to do it. Does that make sense? Because we're thousands of miles away. Even Hawaii, even though we do control the Marshall Islands, are ours as well. Japan is like right there. Like this is Korea, by the way.
Why wouldn't South
This is
Korea-
North Korea. This is South Korea. Because South Korea is literally essentially the United States government because we picked them in the Korean War. That's the side we picked. Who did North Korea side with? Who supported? Who backed North Korea? No, China in the 1950s. Russia. So, have you ever heard of the Cold War? In the Cold War, we never directly fought Russia. We used... Yeah, we essentially used other countries to fight each other, and a perfect example of that is North Korea and South Korea. We picked South Korea, Russia picked North Korea, and we propped up their militaries and let them go to war for us.
Did we use them as pawns?
Yeah, they're pawns, completely. Afghanistan is another country we did that with. So it's a big problem. If you've ever wondered why countries are the way they are, a lot of it's going to be shaped in the 1900s by colonialism. The use of England, France, and Germany. And the United States is not going to alleviate those problems. Can we agree?
No.
Now, you do have to understand that I am a patriot of the United States. There's no other country I love. There's no other country I'd want to live in. However, it is important for us to be realistic about the issues of America. Can we agree?
Yes.
All right. Oh, Aiden, I didn't know we were done. You better take that earbud out right now for show. All right. How much time do I have?
4 minutes or 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Perfect. Take out your notebook. I'm teaching. I mean, only Isabella should be the one finishing their map tonight. Jesus, woman. You are so damn... Oh, Alex will also be coloring, it looks like, at a later time. Those colored pencils, man. Pick up crayons.
It's the colored pencil.
I know. I get it. All right, so you need to know this is obviously week 6, so I would put that as your heading, week 6. We're going to start in China. You need to put a big star under week 6. This is still period 2, by the way. Period 2 is known as the Age of Religions. Period 2 is known as the Age of Religions. We've already studied one religion that started during period 2. You can raise your hand and tell me what religion was that. In period 2, what religion started? Shabani? Christianity, absolutely. We already have 2 that started in period 1. What 2 religions started in 1, Jesse?
Islam?
No, we haven't even talked about Islam. What started? Vendela.
Is it Zoroastrianism?
Okay, no, Zoroastrianism starts in 2. Katie? Judaism. Hinduism and Judaism are going to start in period 1. Everything else starts in 2, except what other major world religion? What major world religion haven't we talked about yet, Garrett?
Buddhism.
No, Buddhism's about to start here in a moment. Jackson?
Islam.
Islam starts in 3. Okay? The end of period 2 is 600 CE, or year 600. Muhammad speaks to God, or Allah, in 610. So Islam just misses the cusp of 2, but it is in period 3. So the first religion we are going to study in China is going to be Confucianism. Okay, now Confucianism is led and / started by a guy named Confuzi, which is an amazing name. Okay, so Confucianism is started by a dude named Confuzi. You need to know that he wanders around China talking about how great the government is. And he's wandering around during the Qin. So, he wanders around China and writes down how awesome the government is in the Qin. Why would he be writing about how great the Qin is? What did he probably live through most parts of? He probably lived through what, Maggie? He probably lived through the Warring States, and then all of a sudden now there's a secure government in place, and he's like, damn, this is awesome, right? That makes sense. So he is pro-government, which you need to know that. He is pro-government, okay? He is then going to go home after wandering around for like 20 years, and he's going to sit in his parents' basement. I don't know if that's true, but in my head he sits in his parents' basement, and he writes a book called The Analects, and you need to know that. He sits in his parents' basement, he writes a book called The Analects, and he dies shortly thereafter. No one gives a crap about your boy Confuzi. No one loves him. He never fell in love. Doesn't have kids. He's just a loser who died in his parents' bedroom, probably with a TV on. I'm just kidding. But like in my head, he's a loser. Okay? However, after he dies, he becomes super famous. You need to know that the Han are going to use Confucianism as the foundation of Chinese society. Why would the Han choose Confucianism as the foundation of their Chinese society? Vance? There you go. Hell yes. Now, Confucianism is all about logical and predictable behaviors. It's not about being rash, okay? It's about logical, predictable behavior. Okay? So, now, you do need to know that it is going to be the foundation of Chinese society. The Han are the ones going to use it and implement it. You also need to know that it is the foundation of China's educational system. Today, if you decide to move to China, you're going to study it from the Confucian background. Do we study Confucian background in our education here today?
No.
What do we call our educational system? What do we call the foundation of our educational system?
Like public?
No, what is the type of education we practice here? They have a Confucianist view. What do we have, Peyton?
Common Core.
Nah, no. Alex?
We're similar to them.
We're liberal arts education. We study math, science, and language, right? They study like other things.
Oh.
I don't really know, but we're a liberal arts background, which is from the Romans. Goodbye! Are you glad we started?
Yeah.
That's I actually am.
Thank you.
I am too.
Less stressful.